Hi, everybody. Welcome to a very special episode of Am I the Asshole? Nothing special is happening. It's just a normal episode, but I'm still joined by my lovely, lovable East Coast Ivy Leaguer, Sarah Levine.
Hello.
Sarah, how are you today?
Oh, you know I'm doing bad. It's fine. I had a COVID scare. I mean, it's ongoing. I don't know yet. Everybody wish me luck. I had to miss out on a work party that I really wanted to go to. Super bummed.
Can I react honestly regarding this?
Yeah.
Well, you got emotional, and it was the most emotional I've ever seen you be. And
Yeah.
I just, if I'm being totally frank, it was kind of funny because, it was a work event and you wanted to go. So I totally get it. And I totally understand it's after COVID, but I was a little shocked when I was like, so what's the event? And you're like, oh, it's just like a get together. And I was like, really?
I mean, yeah, it was just rooftop pool, like drinks and food. It's like literally not anything I haven't experienced before. Like we did a work event there pre-COVID. The last one we did was at the same hotel. I went to the same hotel like a month ago. But like I haven't seen any of my coworkers in a while. Everybody was off. So like, also we've hired a lot of new people, so I haven't even met like a ton of the people. So yeah, and I'm also in general, I kind of feel like, I've been there so long. It feels like every time they hire a new person, I feel like you're not going to get this, but somebody out there might. I feel like my second semester senior year, like in my sorority, we took a pledge class of 72 people, and I was just like, nah, like I'm not bothering to get to know any of you. So like it feels a little bit like that at work, where there's just so many new people and I'm old and I'm just like, ugh, so much work to get to know new people. So yeah, no, I was definitely like bummed out, but I was just like, at the end of the day, like I'm hoping this is a scare and a false alarm, and I would rather have that than have missed out on something, obviously, than like the reverse, for sure. So
yeah, well, that makes more sense, and I think the context of the last year and everything, it sounds like a lot of fun, frankly. Thanks for the invite, by the way.
It was not open invite.
No, I'm totally kidding. Though I am kind of sensitive, so maybe I'm a little hostile. But yeah, it sucks. It sucks. But you're doing the right thing, so you at least get the high ground, morally speaking, of like, you're doing the right thing, and you're doing the responsible thing, and you're not spreading COVID.
I know. What was really annoying was just like, basically, like my friend was visiting from out of town, and it was a very sort of last minute, like, oh hey, like, I'm at Central Park, and I had a moment where I was like, it's going to take me longer to get to the park than I'm going to be able to spend with her, because she had like an afternoon train. But I was like, let me go anyway. And I was like, this is what I fucking get for not like thinking ahead. Just goes to show, I feel like everybody got comfortable. Everybody's like, oh, we can like be out living life, COVID who? And it's like, no. This shit is still around, even if you're vaccinated, even if you don't get as sick. It's weird because it's like, even though you might not get as sick, you definitely don't want to be spreading it to people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Look, I think there's a classic phrase that my dad says, and it's err on the side of caution. And I think you're doing that. And in this case, it benefits society. It benefits potentially other Sarahs of the world who would want to go to other events, and you're doing the right thing. And it does suck though, and this isn't over. It's fucking over.
It's so annoying because it's like, I thought we were very past the state, and this is a very like low level thing to complain about, but I just thought we were past the stage of like having to keep a small circle and like stay inside and weigh every single interaction of like, is this worth it? Like possibly getting sick and then possibly having a quarantine. Like I just thought we were kind of past that point.
Yeah.
At least with vaccinated people, like I thought that, but we're just not, and it fucking sucks. And ugh, God, this is gonna send me into another spiral where I'm like, we're never gonna get over this.
It's incredibly dark. I mean, look, I think for a lot of people, it doesn't feel dark. We're in two very populated places. But I do think there's something to be said about the collective trauma, the lingering malaise, the fact that, you know, this was like a really upsetting thing. And I think everyone's doing what you're doing, and I'm certainly doing it, where it's like, you know, we have this thing. It almost is like self-gaslighting, where we're like, well, I don't have it that bad. You know, people lost family members. You know, people lost their lives. And in other words, oh, people had it worse than me. So we kind of tell ourselves like, oh, therefore this wasn't bad. But this was bad. Like, this was bad. I don't care if you had a job the whole time and you had a girlfriend the whole time, or a boyfriend, or a partner, or whatever. Like, this negatively affected every goddamn human being. You know, it did.
I mean, it's like, yeah, it's so true. I mean, even though I didn't get sick, knock on wood, that I know of.
Yeah.
I mean, the constant anxiety. My dad is fucking fed up with me, like, being anxious about it. I mean, he's annoying, but he's so fed up about it. And I was like, obviously, like, who do I call crying? I call my mom, obviously. And my dad was just kind of annoyed, and I'm like, look, like, I'm not upset about getting sick. Like, I'm not. If I get sick, like, I know I'm going to survive it. It's fine. Like, I was upset about missing a party. Like, and I know that's dumb, but, like, that's really why I was crying. I was just very disappointed for, like, a very avoidable interaction that was also very inconvenient for me, even without COVID in the mix. So, you know, that was kind of what it was. But I just, it's like the health anxiety, like being afraid to go to the grocery store, and even just like not being able to see people that you care about. I mean, that takes a toll on anyone.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's totally fucked up. And
I'm tired of it. I'm over this.
It's exhausting. We lost a year. We've lost over a year.
And it just now it feels like it's never going to end. We have fucking Delta. We have Lambda. What next? Gamma. Now we have a sorority. I don't know.
The economy is weird. Normalcy has not returned. It's not returned.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's more just like now it's at a point. I feel like the vaccine was like a light at the end of the tunnel. And then now it just feels like you get to that point and then you realize you're still like so far away.
Totally.
Oof.
Totally. And it's not going to probably be another year, maybe even 2 years. I mean, look, I'm in the market. Finally, guys, look, I think I got a lot of aggression, negotiating, just toxic masculine energy in me, because I've been trying to buy a car.
Ooh. I thought you were going to say the ice maker.
No. There's a running joke in our WhatsApp, because Ari turned me on to this $500 ice maker. It's called the Profile Opal. I don't know if you keep up with ice maker innovations, but this is not.
This thing is the gold standard, even though it's called the Opal.
This thing makes an ice cube tray seem like a caveman's club. I mean, this isn't just, and I know what you're saying, Danny, there's $100 ice makers that are just as good. Wrong. The Profile Opal uses a unique freezing method that gives you crunchy ice, like the kind at Sonic.
How much is
it?
$500,
$550.
Oh, shit.
You know, and so I sit here, you know, after hemorrhaging, honestly, probably 3 times what I honestly thought I would spend on this move. The naivete, I was like, oh, it'll cost like $1,000. No, folks. It is. I am just bleeding money.
I'm actually a little bit surprised, just because like you didn't have a lot of stuff to move.
I know. I'm surprised too. But I mean, I also did it in a horrible way. I moved through a series of UPS shipments and Amazons, and it's just no. There's a lot of shit. Actually, I'm happy about one eco hack I pulled, which I hate paper towels, and I hate them because I love them. I mean, they're the best things ever.
Okay.
You know, make a mess,
Sure.
paper towel. Want to dry your hands? Paper towel. Want to clean up the floor because you dropped garbanzo beans on it? Paper towel. Paper towel. Solution to all your
This episode is brought to you by Brawny.
Yeah, right? I mean, they're great. But then every time I use a paper towel, I'm like, this is a little fucked up. I'm wasting a little bit of a tree for no reason. And I tried to get, in the past, a rag system. I'm pro rag. You just get lots of rags and then you run the rags through the wash,
That's what I want to start doing. I mean, we have dish towels, but I just need to start, and I just need to get like some cloth towels.
I did the damn thing, Sarah. I went on over, maybe you guys have heard of it, Amazon.com, and I ordered me like a pack of 25 little ragaroos, and I'm not going to buy paper towels. I'm not going to do it. Fuck paper towels.
Proud of you. I think next we got to get you to stop shopping on Amazon.
Oh, well, that's tough. Well, shout out to our new patrons, Katie, Abigail, Ashley. We love to see it. Alina as well. Or maybe Alina just showed up at the happy hour for the first time. But anyway, suffice to say, you love to see it, folks. Please rate, review, subscribe. Join us on Patreon. Venmo me $50. Make me cry. Whatever gets you going.
Whatever you need to do.
Whatever you need to do, people. You know, Sarah wrote that, by the way, about Venmo.
I did. I did.
My handle is @Badgers. So there it is. I mean,
is it really?
Yeah, pretty good grab, right? I'm pretty proud of it.
Yeah, I feel like you probably must have like all types of people trying to like donate to like University of Wisconsin or something.
It hasn't happened yet, but let's hope.
Damn.
All right, folks, we're going to play a little bit of Guess the Verdict. AITA for telling an employee she can choose between demotion or termination.
Oh, I read this one. And I read the update. It was NTA.
It was, in fact, NTA. OP owns a vape shop, already a very strong opener.
Oh, I don't remember it being a vape shop.
I know. Well, it's not really relevant. Basically, Peggy, one of his employees, decided she needed a mental health day and straight up ghosted his ass.
Oy.
There were 22 notifications on Facebook about customers trying to come to the shop, but the store is closed. And then employees were showing up to work, but they're locked out. So he calls Peggy, who was just promoted, I guess, and he's like, hey, dude, like, what's going on? She's like, I took a mental health care day, so... And then he's like, well, couldn't you have just said that you fucking weren't going to come in? Because I could have easily found someone. And she said, quote, I didn't have enough spoons in my drawer for that. I haven't heard that phrase, but...
well, if you read the comments like I did at 3 a.m, I don't know, spoon theory is like a common theory and like way of sort of... I don't know, what's the word? Picturing, visualizing, or something like mental illness. Like you have a certain number of spoons a day, and like doing one thing takes this many spoons, and like so on and so forth.
Fascinating.
Also, here's a key fact. Now I'm just being a know-it-all, but Peggy had just gotten promoted from cashier to manager, and it was her first shift as manager, and then she ghosted. So it was extra bad.
I think OP offered her a pretty fair, go back to her old position with old pay or fire her completely. Tough comment, NTA, you aren't taking it away because of her gender or poor mental health. Oh, yeah, so apparently she also started calling OP sexist and various ists.
Ists.
So, yeah. I think
if we just start calling people an ist instead of being specific?
Yeah, just cut out the fat. You're an ist.
Okie doke. AITA for refusing to let my daughter get a surgery.
Well, okay. I mean, part of me is like, women's bodies, respect the bod. But I kind of feel like OP is a dad and his heart's in a good place, or a mom and his heart's in a good place. I mean, what could the surgery possibly be that they would refuse unless it was cosmetic or something? So that's really that's all my imagination will provide. But why would that make her the asshole? She's just asking for a surgery, and then she got pissed because they didn't give it. But, they want what's best for her, and she has a developing mind, so or he. And so I'm going to go no assholes here.
Interesting. See, when I read this, I like to play this game with myself as I scroll through my
No wonder you're so good. No wonder.
And I too read surgery and assumed it was plastic surgery. It's actually much worse. OP, I think his mom has chronic medical issues, and her daughter has some of these issues as well. The daughter's like 5. One of her chronic issues has an optional surgery that's available that could get rid of the issue, although it is possible to live with. OP, though, has trauma with hospitals, and OP does not want the daughter to suffer through the recovery period from the surgery, which, if it's relevant, is covered by insurance. And husband disagrees and is like, if we can fix this problem, we should fix it. The top comment, and OP got absolutely bodied, was YTA, YTA, you decided to have a baby when you knew that this would/could happen. You want her to live with it because of your trauma? Yeah, YTA.
Damn. Yeah, I mean, that is pretty messed up. So wait, what was the surgery again?
I don't know, but like it was some surgery that could fix what would otherwise be like a chronic condition.
Yeah, that's definitely like you didn't process your trauma and now you're literally straight up passing it on to your kid.
100%.
Directly.
And it's also like, if they're going to have to manage this chronic medical issue for the rest of their life, then you're just like prolonging their trauma.
Yeah. AITA for forcing my son to call me mom.
Oh, that does sound, well, is it stepmom? Is it a regular mom? I'm going to just go YTA. Who the fuck knows?
YTA is not right. Now, this is truly one for the ages. Very interesting.
Yeah?
OP is the biological mother, but
Damn
not
it.
the birth mother. Yes.
Wait.
OP used a surrogate.
Oh, wow.
Son found out. Now, we don't actually get Son's age, which is a shame because I would think it's quite relevant, but not really. But I don't know. I'm just curious.
I feel like you have to be a
suppose.
certain age to like know, like, I don't know, does a 5-year-old know what a surrogate is?
Yeah, that's pretty complicated. So I assume he's, maybe 14 or 15. The son finds out he's a surrogate baby and basically says, "You're not my real mom," and calls her too lazy to have him herself.
Okay.
And he now insists that she's not his mom. Husband is like, "Well, look, hon, this is just a phase." And pointed out the son is probably still a little raw from an unrelated argument they had earlier this month. OP is very hurt, feels disrespected, and this is where I get a little upset. Son makes the move to not refer to her as mom, and mom, feeling that she is allowed to make the same rule, right? So basically, she says, "I figured if that was his logic, then it's up to me to decide what name I want to go by.
Oh, no.
So I've been choosing to ignore him unless he uses mom." And
Always a good idea to stoop to your child's level.
thank you, right? I mean, come on, lady. Grow up. You are the adult here. Please be an adult.
Mm-hmm.
Lead by example. That is absolutely childish. Give me a break.
Yeah. Wait, so then what's the verdict?
ESH. Him for being petty by calling you by your first name suddenly in the comments about the whole surrogate thing and lazy parenting prego comments. But again, he's a teen learning about this stuff. You...
Yeah, I guess
because
I'm
instead of just
surprised.
ignoring the behavior and waiting to see if he cooled down, you acted petty.
I think I would still say YTA. I mean, I don't know. I feel like there are so many, like, did they explain to him why they use a surrogate? If it was like Kim Kardashian, it's like, mom would have died if she'd carried you herself. Like that, I feel could kind of squash things. Interesting.
I don't think she was terrified of postpartum depression, the postpartum body, and the morning sickness.
Hey, man, that's literally where I am right now. I get it.
That's some privilege, though. If you're just like, oh, normal effects of pregnancy,
But it's the thing is, like, pregnancy can do all sorts of crazy shit. Like, your teeth can fall out because your jaw can expand, your hair falls out. Like, it's not just like, oh, you get sick in the morning for the first trimester and then you gain weight. Like, there's just all types of crazy shit that happens even before you give birth. So,
I mean, look, I get it. I mean, how much does it cost to
$20,000 to give birth?
Really?
Yeah,
That's
that's
honestly
just
not
like the
bad.
hospital.
Can you get a lease on that, or is that can you finance
Like a
that
payment
shit?
plan? I don't know.
Yeah, I got a surrogate on layaway, so 10 years from now I'll be able to do
Oh,
that.
how much is a surrogate? No, a surrogate is way more. I thought you were asking how much it costs to give birth. No, a surrogate is like way more. Like, I feel like you're talking like 50 grand and up.
Really?
Yeah, it's a ton.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. And that's why I want to be rich enough to have a surrogate.
Really? Are you serious with that?
I mean, I don't know. I like kids, but there's a lot of reasons I don't know if I want to like actually have them, and I also am terrified at the idea of like physically having them. But
Yeah, I mean, I'm even seeing your number as a low end here. I'm seeing some 80,000, 65,000s.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Very pricey. Very pricey.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think it's fine if people want to do it. It's an interesting question. This is an interesting kind of avenue, a dangerous route, admittedly, because we're talking about women's bodies, you know. But
Why
I
is it
get, I
dangerous?
don't. Well, for me, because this is where I get in trouble. But yeah, I mean, it's an odd thing. You know, you're kind of, yeah, you're paying someone else to have your baby. I mean, it doesn't bother me at all, though. Like if my future wife is like, yeah, I don't want to have a baby, and I'd be like, well, how are we going to pay? It's a lot. But I would be like, that's fine if that's what you want to do.
I mean, if you could afford it.
Final
all
guess
right.
the verdict. You already got 2 right. I got 1 wrong.
No,
So.
I didn't
Oh, no, you
get
got
it
this
right.
wrong. You
I
got
one
1 right because you knew it. So maybe that cancels out. Go ahead.
AITA for getting a cat when my boyfriend didn't want one.
This does seem wrong. I mean, that's not okay. I'm assuming they live together. So, I don't know. I see Reddit going with the cat person, though. Maybe they don't live together. Then the boyfriend is just mad. There's a cat at her house. And yeah, I'm going to go that route. I'm going to say NTA and the boyfriend is.
Oh, man. I mean, you're right that it wasn't super cut and dry.
Interesting.
They do live together. When when they moved in together, OP's boyfriend brought his dog. OP didn't really want the dog. He doesn't like dogs in general, but kind of just like sucked it up. She's more of a cat person and told the boyfriend this, and he said, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. The boyfriend doesn't like cats. So a shelter gets a litter of kittens. She wants one. Boyfriend's like, no, I don't like cats. And then here's where he like kind of was an asshole. He said that if OP had a cat before they moved in, she could have brought it, but she can't go and get a new cat. And then OP went and did it anyway. So the top comment was, ESH, you two are just not compatible. You should not have accepted to move in with him and his dog, and he's also the asshole for lying to you about the cat breakup.
Interesting.
I don't disagree.
All right, guys. Well, we got one heck of a juicy app for you today. Our second stitch of the day. AITA for breaking all my furniture before throwing it away so my neighbors can't poach it. Oh, my God. Please rate, review, and subscribe. Subscribe on Patreon, patreon.com/AITA pod. We have got the WhatsApp. We've got the cappuccino popping off with a fresh new stitch I just threw in there that I thought wasn't controversial, and then it actually was controversial.
I know. I didn't think that was controversial at all. That's wild. The wedding?
The wedding one. I think it's weird.
That's
OP
weird.
was
Seemed
painting
cut
a
and dry
picture.
to me.
But first, AITA for buying my kids' pets without the approval of my ex. I'm divorced 6 years and remarried 2 years. I have 2 sons with my ex, 11M and 13M. My wife has 1 son, 9M. My kid's mom lives less than a mile away. It's close enough for the kids to walk over, but far enough to be a separate space. My boys move back and forth between their moms and my house once a week. We're flex, especially during the summer because of travel, kid activities, etc. My wife's son lives with us full time. My wife and I have been talking with the kids about getting a pet they would personally be responsible for at our house. These talks have been going on since December, and we told the kids when we would pull the trigger on the pets when all of our summer travel was done. Since then, the kids have been excited about the prospect of having their own pets. We asked them to research their pet, determine what its needs were, and what kind of common health problems that kind of pet could have, and how to avoid them. The kids all presented their reports and did an awesome job starting out as responsible pet owners. My kids started thinking about how they would take care of their pets when they were with their mom. We presented their options as we saw them. Come over from time to time, ask for help from someone that's here all the time, bring the pets back and forth. They decided they would like it best if they could bring their pets back and forth between the houses. We said that it would be okay with us, but they had to talk to their mom about it. I let them know it was their responsibility to initiate that convo. Pets is an imposition on them regardless of whether they go to their house or not. And a bit of patronizing, she writes, I understand that you and wife are excited about having an autonomous family unit, but you continually make decisions together in a vacuum that impact the wider scope of immediate family, and it's really not okay. Am I the asshole for pulling the trigger on these pets without her approval?
I mean, I really just love how, the OP is like sending his 12-year-olds to like do this negotiation. Like, that's not how you reach a mutual understanding.
I don't really see us sitting there. I mean, it's
like, you don't, like, come on. I think that's bullshit. He goes, we can do this, but you have to ask your mom. And like, obviously the kids are gonna twist it. It's like to try to get what they want. And then he even like he doesn't follow up with the kids who were doing his bidding. He follows up with the mom. So it's like you just sent your kids to have a conversation that you didn't want to have.
I don't know. I don't view it in such harsh terms. I mean, why is it obvious that the kids are going to twist?
Because it's like you're the parent and you need to talk to your ex. It's
I guess.
Because this is like when you ask, it's like, oh, mom said no, so I'm going to ask dad. Like, that's what he's literally doing.
No, I don't think so. It's going to be their pets. He's teaching them to be responsible. And he's like, yeah, you need your mom's clearance. It's her house.
Yeah, but then it's like you need to go ask them when it's like it should be a joint parenting talk. Like, hey, the kids want a pet. I'm thinking of getting them a pet.
Yeah, and then sending them
not like go ask your mom so she has to be the bad guy.
Well, no, but yeah, I guess you're right. There is a politics aspect there. Then they resent mom. Yeah, I guess. But I also feel like if that's what mom wants, then that's what she wants. And part of being a parent is being a bad guy and just being like, no, we're not having those pets here. And your father is apparently willing to deal with that. And so you can go.
But
you
know that's not how like 12-year-olds are going to interpret it. Like, come on.
Yeah,
they're going to be like, well, mom is being mean and dad is the fun one who lets us have the pet.
Well, but if that's the level and that is the level of discourse in this family, you know, I mean, these kids are 9, 11, and 13. Actually, the two sons with the ex are 11 and 13. I don't think it's wildly inappropriate and you have to play good cop, bad cop. This is not a 5-year-old. I mean, look, I don't know. I can admit that it's not necessarily a strong argument because
I just don't think it was like productive. I'm not saying like OP knew what he like set out to do this, but I'm also just kind of like that wasn't a good strategy from the get-go. I don't
understand why it has to be that bad. Maybe it wasn't the smartest move, but then they finally do have the conversation.
Yeah, I mean, I think you were kind of like I just think he was setting like up the wife to be in a bad position.
I just don't. Well, yeah. Well, it's a bad position if that's what she wants to do. If she doesn't want to care for the pets, then she doesn't have to care for the pets. So why is it so bad? The kids want pets. I don't know,
because then they're not going to see the pet all the time.
Yeah. So what? This is her house. So sorry, your mom. I know,
but like
that.
These are kids, and they're not going to be like, oh, well, yes, that's reasonable because it's her house and her rules and blah blah blah. Like they're not going to see it that way.
I know they're not going to see it that way initially.
And like the fact of them getting a pet shouldn't have been sprung on her by the kids.
Why?
Especially if she was involved in half the plan.
But okay, let's just convert this a bit. Maybe let's get away from a pet. What if it's a video game system? You know, we want to move the video game system between our houses, so we always have our GameCube with us. You know, okay, ask your mother. It's her house. If she's fine with the GameCube set up on the downstairs TV, then, you know, that's her business.
Well, I guess I feel like if having the GameCube was predicated on bringing it to her house, then the dad should have brought that to the mom as a possibility before getting the GameCube.
Okay. All right. I'm with it. You've got me.
Woo!
You've got me. Because, look, ultimately, you agree to co-parent. You do. And that would mean that a video game system, a pet, any kind of life-changing thing, it does need to be run by the ex because you're both co-parenting and you need to negotiate this together. And sending the kids to do the bidding, I think, is a harsh way to put it. But ultimately, this just wasn't a responsible way to conduct this business.
Yeah, I mean, she also doesn't seem like he kind of takes, like, he just seems like he's hearing what he wants to hear because she goes, in concept, I don't disagree with it. And then is like, all right, cool, green light, let's get the pet. And it's like, no, like that, no. Come on. Saying in concept I don't disagree is not like an affirmative yes.
No, but OP heard in concept I don't disagree with it. And I'm not a big fan of I don't disagree. I challenge anyone saying I don't disagree to just try saying you agree with it. Because I don't like it. It's weasel words. What are you really saying? Either disagree or agree. Why you don't disagree? So that's what I mean. So it means she's on the fence. She's weaseling. And then OP infers that he's going to just leave it be. It's his house, so he's allowed to get the pets, except when we look at the co-parenting kind of model, then yes, getting the pets is a crime, just like getting a GameCube would be something that needs to be discussed with the other parent.
Yeah. I mean, if she doesn't want it at her house, then that's that. I also don't think like shuffling pets between houses regularly, it's probably not the best for them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we need to go into that. I think you're right. Look, I think you're right. I don't think this was appropriate to send the boys to ask. I think that does create politics, and you're right. They are young. Even if I think they could be taught a lesson here, it's not the right way to go about it. I did have some qualms with, the wife's words, but now that you've switched me, I actually think she's being pretty objective. I read it as very cold, but now that you make me see that it really was kind of presumptuous, her cold language actually feels calculated and emotionally neutral and fair. So I really can't come for her anymore. She writes,
Woo.
You continually make decisions together in a vacuum that impact a wider scope of immediate family, and it's really not okay. And I actually think wife's kind of being spot on, because you're right. This will create
that's
tensions.
like a good way to put it. Were
It
you
is a
going to
very
be
good way to
mad
put
that
it.
it was unemotional?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I had that impulse, but it was a wrong impulse.
Yeah.
Once again, I am wrong. Lux Strict 6000. YTA.
Put it on a shirt.
Lux Strict 6000. YTA. Take care of the pets yourself while your kids are at their mom's. Telling the kids they can take a pet to her house before even discussing it with her directly is ridiculous. And telling the kids they need to come over to your house during her time with them is also ridiculous. You set her up to be the bad guy. You handled this so wrong.
Yeah, because his
true.
stipulations, what were they again? Let's see. The possibilities were, the kids come over from time to time, which is, probably like not how their agreement goes. Or ask for someone that's here, that aka dad takes care of the pets. Or bring the pets back and forth with, which also just is like, if you're going to present that as a possibility, you need to make sure that you've cleared that possibility first.
Yeah.
Both of them, actually.
Queen for the Day writes, bringing pets into a home takes work. Expecting the ex to agree to this work without input is ridiculous. The whole post felt like a setup. He was going to stick it to his ex in the most passive-aggressive way. YTA. This is very tough. This is very, very tough. I don't think the situation's tough, but it just makes me realize the pains and because, invariably you have all these personal issues with your ex and, there's all this shit between you. And then you really do need to have a nice, clean, cool relationship. Honestly, kind of a very healthy relationship with them. Otherwise, you're screwing your kids over, and that requires transparent communication. But y'all, don't really want to interact because they're your ex, for God's sake. Mad shitty. Don't get divorced if you have kids.
Yeah,
everybody.
it's hard. I mean, it's hard to co-parent, like it really is.
Super hard. And I'm being facetious when I say don't get divorced when you have kids.
Yeah, no, we're joking.
Marry the right person every time. Hello, what's wrong with you people?
Yeah, like what? Like it's hard?
Yeah. AITA for buying my kids' pets without the approval of my ex. I think we agree. It is a YTA. I was very wrong. My impulses were very wrong here.
It happens.
Surprise, the guy who sucks at guess the verdict also sucks at getting the verdict. Well, what do you know, folks? Guys, please rate, review, subscribe. 5 stars, 4 stars. Do whatever you need to do to me. If you need to hurt me, it's fine. I can actually take a negative review. Actually, I think we actually got a really positive review, Sarah.
Oh, good.
Believe that. I believe we did. We did,
love that.
people.
Thank you.
We love a positive review. And I am going to read it real quick. It's traditional. Amazing pod. I'm a fairly new listener, and I've become obsessed. I love the banter.
I'm loving the emphasis.
Right? Banter between Sarah and Danny. Both of them know how to stand their ground on their point of view, and it's refreshing to hear people being honest and real in their opinions. From what I hear, Danny seems to get some criticisms for things he has said. But honestly, I've been binging a lot of old and new AITA. I find he is very open to admitting where he was wrong and trying to change from it. You guys are the only podcast I listen to on my commute. 100% will be joining the Patreon once I'm out of college and making money. Haha.
Oh, yay.
Thank you, dear SK Cookie.
Cool.
We love to read it, and yes,
Wait,
I do.
what was their name?
SK Cookie. They're a cookie fan.
I love it. Love it. We love a cookie fan.
Thank you for, yes, I do take criticism, and I'm often wrong and often stupid. But I listen, people. I listen. I learn. I grow. I'm trying my best. And that brings us to our next question. AITA for breaking all my furniture before throwing it away so my neighbors can't poach it. What?
Oh, boy.
I recently made a few upgrades in my apartment to my furniture. The furniture I replaced was either like new or brand new. I figured why call trash removal when maybe I can give my new and like new furniture a good home and make a buck. So I posted signs around my apartment complex advertising my stuff at yard sale prices. Example, $700 bed, brand new, never used, never even put together because it wasn't the right size, $100. I noticed every day as I went to pick up my mail, my signs were getting, right? Yeah, right?
Like you bought a bed What do you? Okay, whatever. I'm over
Are
this
you
already.
me moving to Los Angeles, OP? This is madness.
Yeah, I'm like, you
are
bought a bed before
return it,
measuring your
whatever.
room. Like, what are you talking about?
I hate returning stuff, so I kind of get it, but not $600 hate. I
Yeah,
noticed
man.
every day as I went to, I could get a profile opal for that price.
There we
I
go.
noticed, I noticed every day as I went to pick up my mail, my signs were getting taken down off the community bulletins. Only my signs were being taken down. Other signs offering babysitting and such remained untouched. I thought maybe people were interested in removing them, so I kept putting more up. Eventually, my new furniture started coming in, and I needed room, so I decided to go ahead and simply throw some things away. First was an entertainment stand worth about $300, trying to sell it for $30. I brought it down with the help of a friend to the bulk trash area. Within hours, it was gone. None of the other bulk trash was removed. It clicked that the reason my signs kept getting removed is because someone was trying to smoke me out and score free furniture. Now, if somebody knocked on my door and said I'm going through a hard time, may I please have some free furniture, I'd give it to them. But because of the underhandedness, I decided instead to break all the old furniture, including the brand new bed, and throw it away in different intervals. My friends tell me it was wrong and wasteful and maybe someone really needed furniture, but I was selling thousands of dollars worth of stuff for a few hundred total, AITA.
Okay, so I know what you're about to say because it's what everyone's thinking. Why didn't he or she just sell it online? The answer is because wait, I thought I put this in here, but now I don't remember. But basically, no, OP had some bad Craigslist experience or something bad happened to them, so they were like afraid of listing it online.
Yeah, I mean, look, go ahead.
No, I don't know. You go.
I mean, I hate waste, and look, I'm not gonna lie, people. I did end up I threw away some things that I really should have taken to Goodwill, but I was very tired. And I think I did 4 Goodwill runs, and I should have done a 5th, and I didn't do it.
All right.
And I left a broken suitcase filled with mainly bullshit.
Well, I don't think that they want a broken suitcase. So
well, no, not. Okay. But it was what it was filled with, and I mean, look, it was bullshit like towels and old clothes and stuff.
Gotcha.
And I did feel some guilt about it. Because I mean, waste is cringe. I mean, we all know
waste is cringe. I love that.
Yeah, it sucks. But I also feel this is kind of like the COVID thing where you do this thing of oh, well, other people wait, I'm doing something fucked up, and you technically are. I regret comparing this to COVID. Let me retract that. Here's what I'll say. Yes, it is wrong to be wasteful, and yes, there is an ideal way to do this, and maybe OP could have tried harder, but they didn't want this grifter to get free furniture. Who likes to support a grifter like that? That's messed up. And look, everybody.
I don't know is it grifting? It's free. It's on the, it's.
Well, but they're
being
taking
thrown
the
out.
signs.
You're taking it.
Yeah, they're stealing the signs to get the free furniture. It's a low key.
However,
grift.
what if it's different people?
Yeah, I mean maybe, but
I don't know.
I guess I just feel it's shitty to waste, but you don't need a. The environment is not the problem. With the environment isn't people throwing away their fucking Wayfair couch. That's not it.
Right,
it really is not it.
It's fucking Jeff Bezos going to space.
Yeah, I mean it's corporations. It's I think they say 75% of the pollution. It's a very high number.
Yeah,
so it's we don't need to.
Lot. No, I agree. I guess I'm just kind of at the end of the day, you wasted good furniture that someone could have actually used out of pettiness, and I know that personally recycling is not gonna stop climate change, but I don't know. I also just I am with you. I feel kind of gross wasting stuff. I just feel bad. So I don't know. It's just it's you chose pettiness over the greater good.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel if what OP is saying is true, it's well, why not just give it to them if they're willing to steal the signs?
Yeah, because also you're not selling it for money. You're selling it to make a little pocket change. This guy is still losing so much money on the sale. If you're selling a $300 entertainment stand for $30, you're not really selling it for the money. So it's what difference does it make if you get it for $30? If someone gets it for $30 or they get it for free?
I think so. And honestly, I do see it as a little bit self-destructive too. It's it takes a lot of work to destroy something. Why?
So much work. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I kind of feel this is asshole behavior. I mean, it's I know that I would just be too lazy. I'd just have it then if that's how you're going to be.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel the person who, I feel the person who's taking down the signs is also being an asshole if it's the same person who is then reclaiming the furniture. Because it's just pay $30. Or if you can't, just talk to the person. You live in the same complex. They're not a Craigslist stranger.
Totally. Reisenstrom, ESH, not because I'm not giving free furniture to your neighbor. I don't blame you there, but for needlessly creating extra waste. You could have tried other means of selling it, but as you said, you know, that wasn't really an option for OP. Sad combination 7356. NTA, your property, your choice.
Not that.
I mean, I think this is...
but everybody else said
yeah,
YTA.
I have moved toward YTA just because it's extremely petty, and obviously it wasn't about the money. And it's like, just give it to the guy. I don't know. Is it an ESH?
Yeah. Is the other guy not the asshole?
No,
This is
he's
what
the
I'm wondering.
asshole.
I think it's... Yeah, I feel like it could be an ESH
I'm an
town.
ESH on this. AITA for breaking all my furniture before throwing it away so my neighbors can't poach it. We agree, ESH. All right, we're going to wrap up here on a pretty great listener submission. Rate, review, subscribe. Join us on Patreon, patreon.com/AITA pod. AITA for depriving my girlfriend of coffee. Right off the bat, guys, I'm already mad. This is a human rights violation. I live in New Jersey, and my girlfriend lives in Minnesota. She has summers off because she works in education. So she's visiting me for the summer. She's a frequent coffee drinker, but I don't drink, except from the occasional cup at work. Since she's been staying with me, she has had to cut back on coffee because I don't have a Keurig coffee maker. She also came here without a car, so for her to get coffee would require a 20 to 25-minute walk one way, and our coffee shop is only open Thursdays through Saturdays. I don't think it's necessary to buy a coffee maker since she's only here for 1 to 2 months out of the year. But my coworker said that if it were him, he would go out and buy it, no questions asked, AITA.
Okay, number one, I think the first asshole is this coffee shop that's open from Thursday to Sunday. What the hell is that nonsense?
It's a small town. It's a small town. Let it go. It's...
The people need their caffeine. I guess it's so weird because, like, okay, I actually can understand. First of all, Keurigs are expensive. So, like, no, the OP should not have to shell out, like, $100 plus for a Keurig. That said, I mean, I just bought a little tiny $15 like 4-pot coffee maker. Boom, Target, problem solved. And if he still really doesn't want to do that, like, instant coffee exists. It's not hard. Just pick it up on your next trip to the grocery store.
Yeah, I mean, for me, what I see here is, first of all, and maybe some of you non-coffee drinkers don't get it, but like,
yeah, I feel like I don't quite get the whole like iced coffee as a personality trait, or just like liking coffee. I don't actually like coffee. I just like milk and sugar. And like
so you're
not having
out.
a huge appetite in the morning.
So you're not a coffee drinker. All right. Well, okay.
No.
Let me explain to you something, Sarah. In terms of my day, if I don't eat until 2 p.m., I'm in a bad way for sure. But if I don't have my coffee in the morning, I'm like not a person. And I think some ridiculous percentage of people are addicted to coffee. We need our coffee in the morning. So what I see here really above all is someone who has failed to understand the differential here in between the price of providing your girlfriend some coffee, okay, the amount of pleasure and like goodness that will bring her, because I mean that's the best part of my day every day. I love my morning coffee. So it's like, yeah, why wouldn't you do this? Why wouldn't you try to make someone comfortable? And coffee is like the most standard thing. That's why it's in every hotel room. Hello?
Yeah, truly.
Have you been a human before? Now, I do have a counterpoint, which is, well, why isn't the girlfriend making any moves here? You know, why didn't she?
Yeah, why are they both acting like they're helpless? Like, again, she could buy a $15 coffee pot. She could also buy instant coffee. Like, they're very easy, cheap solutions that they could both avail themselves of. It's not like spend $150 on a Keurig or only get coffee Thursday through Sunday at the coffee shop. I don't get it.
I don't get it. I mean, that said, I do think the framing is a little bit unfair. AITA for depriving her of coffee. It's like, well,
it's like you're both not making any moves towards acquiring coffee. And like, listen, I understand like doing stuff for your significant other, like 100%, but at the same time, it's like he's not the one who needs the coffee, so like he's not going to feel that much of a personal connection to like solve this problem.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think he understands fully the stakes. I don't understand why she's not pressing for a coffee maker. Like, I don't, like, fine. It's like, take one trip to a goddamn Walgreens. They're available. Like surely
just
all
go to one Target.
Right. They're all around. So I don't really understand this situation. I guess these people are just very passive.
Yeah.
Lainey W. I'm not a coffee drinker, so I bought my partner a French press after the very first sleepover to ensure that the next time they may stay over, their next morning started the way that made them feel good, because that's what you do if you want someone to have sleepovers. I'm unclear here. Do you want your girlfriend to stay with you, or you're the asshole?
I don't know.
Yugni L writes, tell me you don't love your partner without telling me. See, I think OP did themselves a disservice by how they framed this. I like, is she not communicating that she needs the coffee?
That's what I'm saying, because it's like if she's also not making moves or like proposing these very like no-brainer solutions, then he might think that it's not really a big deal.
Yeah. I mean, that said, I'm kind of willing to err on the side of the girlfriend. I feel like she's been like, hey, I just need my morning coffee.
Yeah, she also might not want to impose. Like, she's staying with him for 2 months.
Yeah. Maybe OP is just kind of sussing out how big of a deal it is. Let me tell you, OP, it's a huge deal. Work together and get the coffee. Bridget D, YTA, she should date your coworker. Natalie B, you can get a French press for like $10. It's a small gesture that would show you care. Most grown-ups care to make their company feel at home, even if it's just for a short time. Yeah, but I don't think you're necessarily the asshole for not accommodating things. I'm willing to give OP some benefit of the doubt. I think I'm ready to give a generous verdict here because, I don't know, he does seem thoughtful to what's happening, and he's saying he doesn't think it's necessary to buy a coffee maker. Well, how can he possibly think that? If she was because look, if I stayed at someone's house, you better believe I'm bringing it up every day. I would just get it for myself. I'd be like, oh, you guys are insane. You don't drink coffee
This is
every
the
morning?
thing. Yeah, like I would just get it for myself. I don't know if this is internalized unassertiveness or what the deal is, but like, yeah, if I needed coffee, I feel like I've just done it before.
Right.
You just get your own, like, man.
It's a little weird. I'm leaning slight YTA, but OP did submit. They seem earnest. They don't seem to understand how coffee drinker works. And actually, he does say frequent coffee drinker, not daily. You know, if it's daily, it's a different animal. Then you're fully addicted, and I am addicted. So I'm going to say, and I think we align up here, AITA for depriving my GF of coffee. We agree. No assholes here.
Yeah, I agree. Just like we said, just get one of these cheap solutions. You got it.
There you go. It's the app. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next Monday morning with a cup of coffee.
Bye.